I'm going to demonstrate the assembly of a HOME-FLEX CSST fitting to the CSST. The first step is to empty the contents of the CSST fitting from the bag. Zip off the top, open the bag, examine the contents. In the bag, you're going to find 3 different sheets of paper. One in English, one in Spanish. Those are the assembly instructions. The yellow sheet describes the direct bonding requirement for all yellow CSST. The fitting parts are as follows: 1 retainer ring, 1 fitting, and 1 nut. Notice that the fitting has a factory installed gasket. Note that the instruction sheet that comes with the fitting only addresses assembly of the fitting to the CSST tubing. It does not address the complete installation. That information is contained in the HOME-FLEX System Design and Installation Manual, which you can obtain from our website, homeflex.com. All the information necessary is in this guide. Now I'm going to demonstrate the assembly of a CSST fitting to the tubing. The pipe threads do get pipe sealant. The parallel threads of the fitting do not. Put 5 wraps of yellow Teflon tape onto the pipe threads. Then thread the fitting onto the pipe threads. Then tighten the fitting like you would any pipe fitting. Okay. Next, remove the yellow jacket from the end of your CSST. Cut the jacket back 2 valleys from the end. Use a blade, use your utility knife. Do not use the tubing cutter for this. Slide the nut over the CSST. Then install the retainer ring. Place the retainer ring into the last valley of the CSST and compress it around the CSST using slip joint pliers. These are 8-inch slip joint pliers and they work very well. Compress the retainer ring around the tubing in multiple locations to ensure that you compress the retainer ring evenly. You don't want to cause the tubing to crush and become egg-shaped. Once the retainer ring is installed, it will move around the CSST tubing. That's fine. Its purpose is to keep the nut from coming off the CSST. At this point, you're ready to thread the nut onto the fitting. As I thread the nut, you want to make sure that only the nut turns. The fitting has to stay still, the CSST tubing has to stay still, and only the nut turn. Once I've taken all the slack out by hand, then I will use 2 12-inch handle adjustable wrenches to tighten the tubing. Notice when the nut is all the way tight, you can no longer see the threads on the fitting. The nut will completely cover all of the threads on the fitting. Now I'm going to open the fitting to show you what happened during the compression process. Notice how in the compression process, the sharp edge that was exposed on the CSST before compression has now been folded inward during compression and leaving you just with this smooth rim, flare shape on the compressed end of the CSST.